Hey guys, today I'm going to be going over my Sedona Lace brushes. I have 3 different collections and I always get questions whenever I use these brushes in tutorials, which ones are your favorite, what set, should I get if I'm after face brushes or eye brushes, are they similar to Sigma brushes? I get all kinds of questions about these, so I'm happy to share. So what I'm going to do is go over all of the ones that I have and then let you know what they're similar to and then what my favorites are, like my most used. So hopefully that'll help give you an idea about these. So I'm going to start with the 12-piece brush set, and that is all of these right here. And then we'll move on to the other 2 sets. So this first one here is the 376. This is a powder brush. This is one of my most used brushes. I tend to use it a lot for blush. Here's one that resembles the dual fiber brushes. This is the 813. It's not an actual dual fiber brush though. It's single fiber synthetic bristles. It just kind of has that look of a stippling brush. This is one of my least used ones. I've never tended to use any of those kind of dual fiber brushes, so this just, of course isn't one that I reach for. This next one is the foundation brush. This is the 727, just a basic flat foundation brush. This is the 850 angled contour brush, and I love the heck out of this thing. It is so soft, and I love angled brushes anyway. I use them all the time for, bronzer and whatnot, but this is definitely one of my favorite, most used brushes. Now, that's basically it for the face brushes for the 12-piece set, and then we're going to move on to the eye brushes. So let me bring these forward here. I'll start with the 954, which is the concealer brush, and this is my most used concealer brush just because it's so soft. It doesn't poke like those delicate areas like right under my eyes, and I just really like this a lot because of the size. Number one, it's if I was to compare that to my nail, it's just the right size to kind of get right along the nose, right under the eyes. So that's usually the concealer brush that I reach for most from all of my brands. And then this is the angled brush. This is the Angled Shader 407. And I like this for eyeshadow. It's kind of fluffy, if you can see there, so it's not like a super flat shader brush, but I do like the little bit of angle on there. This is the 561, and this is just one of those small kind of angled liner brushes. I use that a lot for my gel liners, like from MAC and Bobbi Brown. So that is a nice one, and it seems to have held up its shape pretty well. I've been using that one for a while. Here we have the 941. And this is a large shader brush, and it is really large. I don't typically reach for this because it is so big, And then this is the blending brush, tapered blending brush. This is the 863. This is another one, sometimes I use it, but I typically, it reminds me a lot of the MAC 224. It's a little bit smaller. And so the bristles don't, I also noticed that they don't fray out quite as much as the MAC 224. In fact, let me get that so I can compare for you. Alright, here is the MAC 224, and don't mind it. It's all beat up. I've had it for many years. So they're about the same size, the same height, although the Sedona Lace is more narrow towards the bottom, and the MAC is a little bit fluffier, just kind of frays out a little bit more, whereas Sedona Lace stays a little bit more narrow, a little bit tighter. So it's just personal preference. I don't use these, like I said, a whole lot for blending out. I kind of like, shorter brushes where I have more control. But if you like these sort of brushes for blending out, then hopefully that gave you an idea of what the Sedona Lace 863 is like. So the next ones we have are kind of smaller ones, and then we have a shader. This is the pencil brush. I use this a lot. This is the 904 pencil brush. I use this for smudging under the eyes, smudging out my liner, all kinds of stuff. I'm a huge fan of pencil brushes. And let's see, this one is the 305, and that is a shader brush, so an eyeshadow brush, flat, very flat. So there's not a lot of fluff to it. Sometimes I like a little more fluff to my eyeshadow brushes. Not like a whole lot, I like them flat, but sometimes a little bit of fluff is nice to kind of apply it. But if you like them really flat and sleek, there you have the 305. This is a 772, and it's a liner brush, and it's one of those very kind of small, pointy, almost like a miniature pencil brush. And I actually do not ever use this for lining my eyes, just because I just don't tend to use those kind of brushes. But I do like this for smudging out, if I just want to kind of, bring a little eyeshadow along my lower lash line or something. This is a really nice one to get right in there and get it nice and precise. Now for the 7-piece brush set, these are all multi-purpose brushes. So these are kind of like, they're sort of like large, like extra large eye brushes is kind of what they appear to be, but they're actually made for multi-purpose jobs around the face, such as concealer, buffing in, you know, foundation around the nose or around the mouth. Just kind of like those small jobs like around the face, you know, maybe around the temples, whatnot, hairline. You can even use like some of these larger ones like for a little bit of contouring down the nose if you do anything like that. But let me go ahead and go over just to give you an idea. I just wanted to let you know that these are larger brushes, so don't think that they're like little eye brushes. So in fact, to give you a quick comparison here, the MAC 224, which to me has always been like a large kind of eye brush to me. So just to show you like the size difference there. So what we're going to be looking at there. So these are like, they're like small face brushes, extra large eye brushes. All right, so this is the 217, and this is just a round kind of dome brush. And then we have a flat angled brush. This is the 618. We have the 872. And so that is a flat brush. This one is great for buffing and concealer, especially, you know, just anywhere around the face. It's just nice, flat, and you just give that a little swirl with the concealer and it covers up any blemishes really nicely. Then we have the, let's see, this is the 847. And then, wait, did I say that right? Yeah, 872, okay, 847. So this is a dome brush. And then we have this one, which is kind of a unique brush. This has got a bit of a kind of a point to it. So this is the tapered brush. This is the 224. And so this is another one that you can get right around the nose, right around the hairline if you're doing any contouring. And then here is another kind of, this one is a little bit more of a dome compared to, let's see, this one here. It's a little bit shorter just to show you the difference. They're very, very similar to me. Like, I don't know, you know, I guess if one's dirty, then at least you have a backup. They're very close. This one's a little bit taller, a little more cut, a little more dome-shaped, whereas this one's a little bit flatter, but still they're pretty similar. So that was the 847, and this is the 312, if I didn't mention that one. This is the 773, and this is great if you just want to like apply an eye color just all over really quickly. So it's got like a, you know, it's a fluffy angle, so you can just like dip it in and just swipe all over, like, you know, 2-3 swipes and you are done. If you just want like an all over color. So that is pretty much it for the 7-piece set. And like I said, you know, they're kind of a unique set. I really didn't have much to compare them to just because they are that kind of unique in-between sort of size between the face brushes and eye brushes. Now for my favorites, and it's so funny because the first that I ever got is still my favorite, and it includes their kabuki brush. I love this thing. It's so soft. I like to use this for powder, and so I'll just buff in powder with it, but it is just like so delightfully soft. If you're familiar with the Too Faced teddy bear hair brushes, that is what these feel like. They're like ultra soft, ultra plush, but these are actually, I don't know, they feel like better quality to me for a lot less. Like the price is like way less compared to the Too Faced ones, but yet these are like so much denser and they're just as soft. It's just like they're outrageously soft. And then these 3 brushes here are like my go-tos. This is my go-to foundation brush. This is the 480. I get a lot of questions about this. I always use this in my tutorials whenever I'm applying foundation, and people always ask, is it similar to the Sigma F82, which is also another, it's another, you know, round, you know, dense, kind of short, stubby sort of foundation brush. And you know what, I don't have that one here to show you. I actually only own one Sigma brush, but I did check him out at IMATS when I was there back in January, and I was feeling him. I wanted to feel, you know, how dense they were and try to compare them to my Sedona Lace ones. And actually, they are extremely similar, but I feel like this one is just still more dense. It's just a little more dense, has a little less motion, which is what I like for buffing and foundation. So I still like this one better, but you know, if you already have that one, then you wouldn't need this one. Like, you don't need both, you know? And then this is the, let's see, this is the 928, and this is just a flat top, another dense brush. It's not as, well, you can see by the cut, like you can see in there a little better. Like, you know, it's not as tight and dense as the 480. So it's a little bit more motion there to it. So although this I have used for foundation in the past, I still like the 480 better. Like, that's my best foundation brush there. So this one, you know, sometimes I'll use, or maybe sometimes I'll use it for powder. It just depends. This is the 602. This is my favorite contour brush, and I love using this for my Chanel Bronze Universal. Or, well, any bronzer really, but the Chanel Bronze Universal especially, because it's tough to find a good brush to use with that because it pulls out bristles like nobody's business. Like, it will tear your brush apart just by pulling out bristles. It's just crazy. So it's kind of a tough product. You got to use, you know, a synthetic brush, and you don't want it to lose bristles. So that's why I always use this one, because it never ever sheds. In fact, did I mention that? I don't know if I even mentioned that yet about shedding. Yeah, I never ever lose like any hairs or bristles with any of my Sedona Lace brushes. Like, they never ever shed. So that is like huge to me. And like I said, I don't have Sigma brushes. I have one, and that's it. And I should also mention about the length of time it takes to dry this thing. I have the F88, the flat brush, or flat angled brush, and this takes longer than like some of my other Sedona Lace brushes. I mean, you know, I usually let these dry like a day and like overnight, and then they're good. This one took days to dry, so I'm not sure if that's the same with all Sigma brushes, but just saying, yeah, that one took a really long time. So if you're looking for a comparison, that's definitely one thing that I noticed was different. Now here is the Real Techniques brush. This is one of my best friend's favorites for foundation, so I wanted to compare that too and just kind of show you, you know, there is not a Sedona Lace brush that's exactly like this one, and I do like it. It's very, I think this is their buffer brush, right? Yeah, it's something like that. Oh, I guess, oh, there we go. Yeah, buffing brush. So super soft. She loves that for foundation. I used it for foundation for a while too, and then I just went right back to this. But this one is nice, you know, if I don't know if I need any extra buffing or powder or whatever. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I have compared as best that I can. I know there's lots of other reviews and comparisons out there as well. You know, there's you know, some other people that own Sigma brushes and do nice comparisons, so you can always check those videos out as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gave you kind of an, you know, an idea or an overview if you're interested in any of these brushes. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.